We are live. Well, yeah, you're looking at the preview right now. No, we're on because of the stream delay. There's a stream delay of like 20 seconds. OBS. So what's going on, guys? Wait, Barr can't get in? That's not.
There he is. Yeah, it takes a second.
Barr, what's
made it.
up?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Thank God
We're
you're
live
here.
right now, by the way.
Yeah,
What's up, guys?
I was technically on time, but it said I needed to be let in.
Yeah. Well, that's good. You made it back.
What's up?
How was your dad's birthday?
It was good. I left midway.
Oh. Because you had much more pressing things to take care of.
Yeah, well, he lives down the street, so I'm just gonna do this for about an hour and then head back.
Nice. I don't
Nice,
think we'll be on
nice.
here more than an hour.
All right, so Rick, this is your channel, so go ahead and get us started, my man.
I don't even know where we're starting, man. What are
You
we
go
starting?
around,
We're a hangout.
introduce us, and
If everyone doesn't know who all's here, come on. Everyone's got their names now. So we got
all right.
Jay
Yeah,
Book
shows our
on
names.
my screen. We got Jay Book up in the upper right. Jay will say what's up.
What's good, people?
We got John Simmons, aka DJ WooPig, on the upper
What's
left.
going on? What's going on?
Brandon's in the bottom left,
What's up, guys?
and then we got Barr in the bottom right.
Dope.
Cool. Oh,
So-
and we got Eric. Eric, would
Oh
you like to
yeah,
introduce yourself?
me too. I
We got-
forgot about
We
me.
got Eric Mazengale in the back.
Hey,
You're like all blacked out too in the corner.
Did you get a haircut, Eric?
yeah, I shaved it. Everyone crying about they can't go get a fade. I was like, fuck this. I'm just gonna shave my head.
You did it yourself?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
so
what I have.
easy. It's so easy to shave your
just-
head.
Take buzz clippers and go. It doesn't,
Yeah.
it doesn't require much effort at all.
Yeah.
Yo,
Military-
I
military
thought
style.
WooPig was about to shave it all off.
My wife wouldn't let me. I got close. She wouldn't let me.
I'm checking audio.
Oh, wow.
I shaved all my hair off of my face. You know, my 3 little hairs that usually grow.
I can't do that. I gotta hide
can't
all.
either.
I gotta hide my second chin, so
Yep.
that's not an option.
So, going around,
There's,
I'm looking for some questions if anybody asks them or whatnot. So if anybody in the chat's got
Yeah,
some
there was one on
questions,
YouTube.
you saw
What
one
was the guy-
already.
He was asking the difference. Yeah, the difference between a normal DJ and a mobile DJ.
What's a normal
Normal?
DJ?
What's
Who's
considered a
normal?
normal DJ?
That's a great question. A club DJ?
I guess maybe he's asking either a club DJ versus mobile DJ, or maybe just in general the term DJ versus why more specifically a mobile DJ.
Great question.
I mean, obviously, like any other DJ besides a mobile DJ is going to, he's showing up and only bringing either CDJs or whatever, or 9 times out of 10, it's already provided for him. Whereas, like all of us mobile DJs, every show we go to, essentially, we're taking our own rig with us. So I think that's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah. Sounds nice.
Well,
What y'all been getting into this week? I know.
We need some coronavirus talk to get started.
Yeah,
we're,
so,
we're,
like-
we're getting off to a rough start here.
I know. So
be honest.
this week, anybody done anything different? Learned anything? Taught yourself anything? Cleaned up anything? What y'all been working on? Obviously, we're not working, so
I have been bumming it. I have, I was trying to do the YouTube thing, but YouTube numbers are all the way down. So it just
Yep.
discouraging. So I said, all right, this week I'm going to take off. This week I started getting back to work. I've been filming this week. But honestly, all last week pertained of me doing absolutely nothing. I know it's bad. Like everybody's like, be productive, but I'm not getting shit done.
yeah. I think I'm kind of the same way. Like last week, super active at the office because we don't have like a staying home order yet. So
Jeez.
been doing a lot of cleaning at the warehouse, cleaning up stuff, and then working on my home because we're doing a nursery and putting down new floors and stuff. But this week I don't have anything to do. Like today's Wednesday, and I don't think I've done anything really productive. I did get a call for a job this Friday though, so that's exciting. But other than that, nothing. Been bumming out playing Call of Duty.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's
Real
actually
cool.
been pretty quiet and stuff over in my neck of the woods. No cancellations, no postponements, no nothing. Phone hasn't rang. It's really weird and stuff. So really, not nothing to report over here.
We talked to a few May clients, and they were like we're definitely having our shit still. You know, I was like, okay, like I'll show up, whatever, or someone else will show up. But yeah, that's cool.
It's
Now, do they still have a stay-at-home order like issued in place till? Do they have a deadline, or is it?
Until the end of April, right now.
Oh, okay.
it got extended. It's May 30th.
Did it? Well, either way, I mean
May
these
30th.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
yeah. I don't know.
Our governor announced that he thinks the bulk of ours is going to hit middle of May, so he extended it through out May for North
Yeah,
Carolina.
Go
they
ahead, man.
think we're at like the peak of ours now in New York. So right now we're the end of April, but I have a feeling they're going to extend it a little past that. If not, the stay at home, if they let businesses get back to work and stuff, I think they're, obviously still going to continue the whole social distancing and that playing it safe type thing.
Cool.
We just got our governor just hit us on Monday with the stay at home, but that's
Just-
only because nobody was listening.
Yeah. I think Georgia did too, just on like Tuesday or something or Monday. But it's crazy. I've been actually working on an install. Last Friday, I went out to I left my place and went to a new venue that's popping up down here in Charlotte, and quoted them out on a new install for a sound system, Pennant speakers, and we secured the deal on it. And Mr. WooPig here is supplying with the gear.
Yeah, man. Got to make some money somehow. That's even
Exactly.
though it's work. I know, like this past week, we got a call on Monday. Easter obviously is on Sunday. So a lot of churches, because we don't have a stay-at-home order here, but it is like a mandate to like stay away from people and stuff. A lot of churches are doing like parking lot services. So we're gonna the biggest church in my town, they're doing a parking lot thing. So we're gonna take out a pretty decent sized rig and a stage, and it's not the paycheck that I was supposed to be getting this week, but anything is better than nothing at this point.
I
Yeah.
just noticed something in the chat. Not everyone's really familiar with, except for like me and Barr, where everyone's at. So me and Eric are in North Carolina. John, you're at what, Arkansas?
Arkansas. Yep. Arkansas.
J Book,
I'm in South Carolina.
Brandon, New York.
Long Island,
You're
New York. Yep.
then Barr, you're in New Jersey, right? All right.
Yes, sir.
Just so everyone's clear in the chat where everyone's at. We're basically all East Coast for the most part.
So I've been talking with a lot of people, and a lot of people have been saying the same thing, that when we do start getting into some sort of normalcy, that it's going to be in steps. So they'll open up, all right, gatherings of 10, gatherings of 50, gatherings of 100, gatherings of 200. Do you guys think that's going to happen to us? And if so, I think we're kind of screwed because we're at the tail end of that.
That's
I
interesting.
think it's very possible. Especially I think it'd be hard to kind of manage and regulate that unless you had like vendors seriously cracking down on stuff. But yeah, it's possible. Now, if that happens, yeah, I think a lot of us are in some pretty rough situations because all of us have probably rescheduled a lot of events. So if they're having specific dates on when they're rolling out timelines, yeah, that's going to get even more complicated.
I feel like the numbers are going to be grouped differently in that, though. Like it'll probably go from like 10 to 50 to 200, but then it'll go to like festival size, like ban all huge public gatherings rather than like smaller events,
But I think in general, it's just everything's going to be different. This is going to change everything. I don't see how people are going to, like, I see people saying, oh, it's going to be a crazy party, but then I'm also thinking to myself, I'm like, man, it's being drilled into our heads, like social distance, stay away, purify, germs are everywhere. So I'm just thinking like, is this, kind of messing with people's perception of everything? Is like, are you really going to want to go to a club like after this that's packed? And, it's just everybody's going to be freaked out for a couple weeks, maybe months afterwards. I think it's going to be a slow start to get back to some sort of normalcy of what we used to have.
You're probably right. Straight up.
It is interesting. I've talked about it like a few times, and I think I do see stages, and I see stages in terms of in like our industry because everyone's kind of working in different areas too. But like I see the bar and club industry, I honestly think is kind of going to pick up first because I mean everyone's been trapped in their houses. Yeah, people are drinking and whatever because they're at home, but like the bars and clubs are the first places people are going to get to go out and party and like have a good time. And then it's going to take some time for weddings and stuff to rebook, and then that stuff's going to kick in. And then I mean the corporate world I think is going to kick in almost immediately. I would think as soon as businesses go back to work, corporate clients are going to need audio visual and their kind of stuff, you know. But it's definitely interesting. Like you said, I can't see like, and like WooPig was saying, I can't see them enforcing or finding a way to be like, all right, now you can have 50 people. All right, no, you have 51. Like you, like, you know.
I don't think. I think what's gonna enforce it is the venues. Like, let's say, like, if we catch you doing this, and the venue will get fined. So it's not gonna be, the client. The client might as well be like, I want to go through with this, but the venue is gonna be like, no, I'm not getting sued because of you. I'm not paying this fine. So it's not more or less of like the cops coming out and shutting it down. It's gonna be more or less fines. Which I mean, if by all means you can go. I mean, even now you can technically have a wedding, but the concern that I have is like who's going to show up, especially in weddings. Like, there's like older folks coming, like grandparents and stuff like that. They're going to be freaked out. They're not going to want to go out and party and stuff. It's just everything's going to be different. It's going to take a while to get to some sort of normalcy. So
Yeah.
I'm starting to get pessimistic and thinking like, man, it might be a year before we go back to like normal like weddings, normal parties. Just in general, because I'm even starting to get freaked out a little bit.
I can see it being definitely like a higher young crowd. Like like the older crowd's going to be very diminished, and it's going to be a lot of young, your basically 30s and under crowd is going to be the majority of what show up to weddings.
Maybe just like super small weddings.
Yeah,
That
like
or college parties.
Yeah. Yeah.
hey, college kids are still partying from what I've been hearing. The people that are on campuses, they're still throwing house parties, and they're still like all going over to a house and having a house party.
Yep.
Like, they don't care.
That'll be some of the first businesses to come through probably down here.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what happens with high schools right now, because the high schools I'm talking to, they're still planning on doing their proms.
Ooh. Yeah, all of our proms are gone. We had 11, and they like the governor just came out Tuesday of this week, and schools or in-person classes are done for the year. So right now, all 11 of our proms are canceled, and then we were supposed to handle AV for 2 graduations, and those graduations I think are going to be pushed till August maybe, but again, who knows at this point?
Yeah, I think we got the same thing here. Schools have already they shut it down for the year. There's nothing. There's no proms, no dances. There's no more school. There's no more face to face until at least the fall season. So schools are done completely.
Yeah, it's schools in general, they have to play it very conservative. So I don't see that happening. Even, I feel bad for the seniors. Like, what's going to happen with graduation? Like, not so much prom, but more or less like graduation. Like, you don't get to walk this year. Like, what's going to happen is like, is it going to be summer school for everybody? Like,
dude, I heard the people in California have to redo the school year. Like all the high school kids. Dude, if I was in high school and that shit happened, I can't even. I'd be like, everyone on the planet could die. I don't give a shit. This sucks. Like,
yeah,
God,
I know, like the seniors at the high schools in Arkansas. If your grades were in good standing last 9 weeks, you're done. So you don't have to go back at all.
Yeah.
That's a tough call, man. My sister is freaking out. She's like, I want to go back to school. But she's only a sophomore, so I don't know.
Got nothing to do at home. It gets. I mean, how long has the New Jersey area been a stay-at-home order now? Almost a month.
Yeah, since March 7th was my last gig. So it was the week right after that we started. So yeah, almost a month now.
Yeah.
Dang, I can't believe it's been a month.
It's not like super mandatory here though.
No, I mean there is some kind of like the only things that I've noticed is like in shops, you notice that there's a difference. Like today I went into Walgreens to get my dad a birthday card, and like they have plexiglass covering the cashiers now. So
Yeah, yeah.
there is some stuff that's a bit different. But like you can still go out and do stuff. Like some people are like, "Fucking, I'm going out." You know, people are trying to get fresh air and stuff. So you do still see cars on the roads, but well, it's just once you go into buildings, that's when you kind of feel that something's wrong.
Yeah, so I've left my area like twice now. One time just to go drive around because I was bored of being in the house and I wanted to just. It was a nice day. Drove around with the windows down and everything, and traffic honestly did not seem to be any less than what it normally is. I don't know about
Right.
a couple times you've been driving, but it seems
pretty-
like the same amount of traffic is normal.
Pretty normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I drove to Charlotte to go to that venue, and like it was still packed going down the highway with everyone else. So I don't know what's going on with like people not staying at home, at least, unless everyone's essential.
Are you guys freaked out at all, or you guys how you guys feel about the situation? You guys are like indifferent about it, or how do you guys feel?
Fuck it. That's my impression right now.
I really just kind of accepted the whole situation. Like,
Yeah.
in my brain, I'm not making a dollar other than like side gigs, like DJ event crap, until August. You know, like off the DJ stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of I've came to the groups that like August is about the time I'll actually start making money again.
I still haven't wrapped my head around it. It feels like a dream. Like this was crazy because this was supposed to be a crazy year, and I still just have not wrapped my head around the fact that there are no gigs right now, and so I'm still dealing with that. It's a tough out here.
Yeah, not. I'm more on like the other side of the fence. I don't think it'll be. If I'm back to work by September, and I'll be happy. We've had a lot of people. August is generally dead. We've had a lot of people reschedule for August,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm just kind of on the fence. Because it's coming up fast. Now, the good thing that they say is when it gets hot, it starts to die off. But at the same time, no one really knows.
Yeah, that's the thing. No one knows anything about anything, the
Right.
outcome, or in any way. You know, so I'm just rolling with the punches.
Rolling with the punches. That's all you can do. That's all you can
There's
do.
a interesting question in the chat. Might require some thinking, but it was if you guys could create one app to help DJs, what would the app do? So I was looking at the question for
That's a
a little
great
while.
question.
So I'll kick it off while you guys think of your answers. I guess from more of like a production company or multi-op standpoint, I'd like to see an app designed for our industry for booking and scheduling staff. Something where I can schedule staff on events. It adds it to their calendar and then sends them like a text reminder when they should leave, or maybe like earlier that day it sends them a text with their
Yo,
the
Brandon.
address of the venue so they can GPS it.
Hit me up, Brandon.
He's already
I
got
think
that
that's
figured out.
That's probably a great idea. Yeah, it sounds like I need to holler at Eric about that as well.
Look at his face right.
I
Look at
know,
his face
like,
right now.
it's so hot in here, dude. Your apartment is 900 degrees.
Sorry. I'll turn. It just happens because I'll turn the. Anyway, continue. I'll turn the AC on.
I don't know. As far as apps go, there's a lot of. That's a great question, but at the same time, there's also a lot of great apps out there for doing stuff like this. Whether it be music organization, inventory, managing assets and stuff like that. You can already do a lot of your accounting from your phone with QuickBooks. Eric sounds like he's got some stuff going on with the DJ Event Planner that he can set up for scheduling. There's probably a lot of good apps out there that would probably make our lives a lot easier. You just got to figure out what they are.
Hey, Bill, what do you got, Jake?
I don't
think
like
there's
this question.
Yeah, I don't think so.
That's hard.
Way too much.
Yeah,
It's too in
it's
depth.
causing dry air. We don't ask so philosophical questions or hypotheticals.
That's too much.
If you could have an app, what would it be?
Because if I did have an app, I wouldn't want to put it out there. I want to keep that to myself so that I can hopefully.
If the
profit off it.
coronavirus didn't exist, what would you do?
What if it's a software engineer that asked that question and then he goes out tomorrow and creates it and then is like,
True.
Yeah.
Damn.
Kick
I've
that
got
dude
a-
out.
Yeah, well, I've got
Yeah,
a question
block
of my
him.
own.
Who asked that?
So during this time, I
I'm
know
not giving you my ideas.
a lot of us under stay-at-home orders. We're not, but because a lot of our stuff has shifted from now until like the fall or spring 21. If you're not a multi-op or you haven't, or you're lacking in guys, have you thought about maybe this is the time that I get somebody in, I train them, so we'll have more staff whenever the rush hits? Is that something you guys are thinking about?
I'm scared that it's gonna not turn out how I want it to. So I've pumped the brakes on that thought. But yes, that is a great idea if it plays out the way you want it to. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on a few like virtual interview type things with people today. Just new potential people that we're looking to work with and get on our team. But I am big on that, like taking advantage of it now. And like Eric said, I mean, I'm not necessarily bringing people on and saying like, hey, here's your salary, let's start working kind of thing. But it's more of just getting people, on board with what our mission is and seeing what their skills are, where they could fit in, and like you said, training too, editing some videos for us or whatever it is, just to like build up that solid staff. Because when this does come back, if it does hit as busy as I'm expecting it to be, we got to be prepared for that and have staff for it.
For sure.
I think right now I'm just kind of reaching out to all my contacts to help me when the time explodes back again to get back to it. I'm just trying to kind of reach out and just ask them, if they're available, trying to get some of these dates and stuff booked, because now I'm starting to run into double booking and trying not to lose out on everything on the function. So really, I'm just using all the contacts that I have local here, and really, I'm not looking to really groom anybody. Just more or less get somebody to help out. I need help. I need some people to fill some of these dates.
yeah.
So you're not looking to add anyone to your team as you are to like push it off to a subcontractor.
Right. Not quite yet.
Why is it? Go ahead.
It's a bit tough hiring in this situation, because I mean, you can only throw softball questions like, what are you gonna say to them? Like, are you reliable, or where are you gonna be when this is all over? So it's kind of rough to be hiring at this time, just because for something like that, you do need to kind of meet him, just because it's like we're a one-shot deal. It's like, are you gonna be here this Saturday? Like, can I count on you? And it's
Right.
that kind of trust is hard to build if it's some random person that you're having like a conference call with or something,
Right.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Hey, just on a question here, is anybody considering doing a live stream DJ set now that we've been running out of stuff to do?
I've been
I've
so
been
bored.
doing
I've been considering.
I've been considering as well. I know last time we talked, I was totally opposed to it, but now I don't have much to do.
Yeah. It's not that I'm opposed to it. It's just like I said, I don't want to.
Don't want a train wreck. That's the main
Yeah,
thing.
I don't want a train wreck. And like I've been watching a lot of these guys that are getting really creative with these live streams. They're adding like visuals and like I don't know how the hell they're doing that.
The green screens and stuff.
Yeah, they're doing like green screens. They have effects like they have like multicam setup. Some of these guys, I'm like, how the hell did they do that?
I've seen
They
some
were
with like their
bored.
wives dancing, like in the
That's
background
clever.
and whatnot.
Dude, I talked to a buddy of mine. He said he made like $1,500 in tips, and I thought that was kind of a joke when they were putting their
What?
Cash App, their Venmo, and stuff. I was like,
that's-
I'm like, who the hell is gonna be tipping these guys? And they are getting tips.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, I will say
Especially
though,
the ones doing it consistently. The ones who are doing like every Saturday from like 2 to 3, because then
Right.
people are like tuning in. They're making it like a thing with their family.
Yeah.
Right.
That one kid, Dawson High, he posts a
Yeah.
flyer.
Guy's a
Does it
killer.
like 4 times a day.
Yeah,
You know?
that guy's a killer.
For a young dude, he's doing great. Yeah.
yeah,
My biggest thing is I struggle with trying to come up with a routine set to be able to perform. Like I don't know.
So are you looking at this more of as a performance aspect, or
Yeah.
just getting on, knocking the dust off, and and having fun?
Well,
You
from
want it to be more of like a professional performance as opposed to just kind of playing music.
yeah, I don't want to. If I'm going to do it, I'm not going to get on and just play music. I'm going to have somewhat of a set kind of figured out with how I'm going to get in and out of all these tracks, and just mostly because of the copyright system, so that I can actually get in and do it appropriately. Because you can only be on there so long with a certain song. I don't want to get kicked off. That's what a lot of guys complain about.
No, I will say that that's something that pisses me off. Like these guys are complaining, oh, Facebook took it down. Like Facebook is not at fault. If anything, you're at fault. Like if it was my company and I was, prone to get sued because something that somebody else is doing, I would absolutely take you off my live stream. So it's not a fault of Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube. It's just they're not allowed to do it. So if they take the stream down, it's like it's not them being assholes, it's them not wanting to get sued. So in that aspect of it, I'm just like, dude, get over it. But in the sense of like live streaming, by all means, live stream, but just don't complain because the company doesn't want to get sued. You know, it's like, what are you gonna do? They can't get sued. And I don't think that I do not own the rights to this music helps.
I love when I see that big caption.
Yeah,
it doesn't help at all.
Yeah, Facebook's like, oh, all right.
Oh, okay.
They totally
let this one slide. He doesn't own the rights to this.
Yeah, that robot totally reads that whole entire paragraph there. It totally is just not listening to your live stream and tagging it.
But no, I gotta say, these guys are getting really creative with these live streams, dude. Like, I had no idea that kind of technology is out there. These dudes in their basements have like multicam setups. And they have like crazy, like they have like staging for these live streams. It's nuts, dude. I did not see that coming. Back in the day, I don't know if you guys remember. I think it was called Ustream.
Yeah, I remember Ustream.
That was like the old thing. You used to have to share that link on Facebook, and then people have to go to Ustream to actually view you. But man, it's so different now. It's like sounds high quality, and then you also get the shitty ones where it's just somebody set up a phone, and then it's like it's shaking with every bass drop.
Yeah.
There's some guys doing good work with the live stream, man.
Yeah, there are. And I think Cleveland Terry showed a video on how to do it on Instagram now from like OBS. So you got like direct audio and everything. It was kind of cool.
Is that what we're using now, OBS?
Most everybody's using OBS. If you want effects and overlays and stuff like that, OBS and Twitch,
that's what we're using right now.
Streamlabs is probably the best way to go between those two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What are these guys using as far? J Book, you've done these, right? What are you using as far as interface? Are you just putting your phone next to the speaker, or you actually have an interface?
Really, it's just been the phone next to the speakers. But I've been looking into a couple of things. I've seen a lot of people use something called iRig or something like that, and a couple of other things to kind of get the sound quality a lot better. But it's been coming through decent and stuff just on the phone. But I am looking for something to try to get better sound quality and stuff like that. But I feel like it's been great. I think it's great for everybody to go in there and just have some fun with it.
Yeah. It's just a little more pressure when you got a big following.
How is OBS user friendly? Is it easy to use?
The way they break it down, it's pretty easy.
I was about to say I can help you, Barr. I mean, I've been using OBS for years now. It's pretty simple.
Really?
That's
what
what
did you use it for?
That's what we're using it right now.
That's how our voices are so deep.
That's why our voices sound like shit, because I can't figure that out. But yeah, I can't figure out that at all. Something to do with I got a Zoom H6 plugged into USB on this, and then it goes into OBS, and somewhere between because if I listen to the direct monitor on the Zoom 6, it's fine.
Zoom has pretty cool effects. Like, check it out. Now I'm on vacation. If I just click one of these bad boys here. Yeah. What's up, San Francisco Bay Area? Where you at? Look at that. Look at that. I'm living in the future. Look at all these special effects.
Hey, a lot of people in the chat are giving great ideas for other stuff you can use.
Oh,
yeah, a lot of people are saying the iRig and stuff like that. So yeah, that's
what's
something I'm looking to.
Live stream DJing, man. It's the #1 topic on Facebook right now on how to live stream DJ.
I will say though, don't go on Saturday night because that is like
when the killers come out.
Yeah,
I thought it was Friday.
Dude, I think it was last Saturday actually. I was scrolling through and it was all DJs, dude. Every single bot that was online. I was like, damn.
I keep getting to bed at like 1 a.m. and I'll get a notification that someone's live, and I'm like, go listen, and this guy's like rocking out in his basement at 1 a.m. There's like 3 people watching.
Sick.
I keep getting trending things that say that people are doing like verses. You guys been watching those?
Yeah, I've seen those too.
Like some of the producers and stuff like that are just kind of like playing like all the old jams and stuff we hadn't heard in probably forever.
Never seen that.
Nope.
What? Oh my gosh, those things are like the number one thing trending on Twitter.
Oh yeah, so that was the verses. It was started by Swiss Beats and Timberland. So this past weekend they had Little John versus T-Pain.
Yeah.
And they just played their hits back to back to back. It was like 2 hours. They had 250,000 people in there, but at the same time, they're celebrities, so people are gonna show up. You know, the 250,000 people ain't showing up to DJ WooPig's live stream set on Facebook.
That's my biggest fear. If I do a live stream, there better be at least 100.
You got three people watching.
You get a couple
I
hundred.
cannot let myself live down if I only get 2 viewers and one of them being myself on my other phone or something like that.
Oh,
You'll get a couple people for sure.
too much pressure, guys.
Now, as far as podcasts go, I know Brandon started a podcast. Rick and Eric started a podcast.
Yep.
How has that been? I know I was on Brandon's and I was listening back to some of his, and audio quality super good. Have you had good response feedback from listeners and all that stuff?
I really, yeah, Brandon,
Good. No, well, WooPig's episode will actually be live tomorrow morning. Just a quick shout out.
nice.
But yeah, that'll be up tomorrow morning, and it's been working pretty well. So I was using an online site called CleanFeed, which is literally just you could send people a link. I don't know, WooPig, how easy was it when I sent you that link to just log
Simple.
on?
Yeah, it was simple.
You just kind of click the link and choose your microphone, and you're good to go, and it just records audio. I did recently purchase the full version of Zoom. I was going to try using that too, but I did one episode with my crew, and I think the clean feed kind of recorded better. But it is over internet, so every once in a while there's a little like audio glitch, but otherwise it's been pretty good. But you're recording everything, just you two, right, Rick? Or are you bringing in online listeners or guests?
So right now it's just our main internal audio. That's all we're using.
Right.
Just me and Eric in the studio. We do plan on adding in someone. We'll probably do it through a Zoom or something because we have the back screen right there. So we'll probably do like a 3 Zoom. But the goal is that just have everyone in the studio because like we have a 4 mic setup. We can do 4 of these mics in here. So and just for audio and video quality be matching. That's what my goal is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is Rick, is yours DJ industry related as well, or event industry, or is it just kind of open format?
I mean, Eric, it's kind of open format. We just, like, the first episode was on the coronavirus, just talking about that. The second episode we just filmed last night, and that was on multi-ops. So,
Gotcha. Okay.
a lot of just discussion on multi-ops. You got any comments on ours? Feedback you've been hearing? Because he's been getting a lot more feedback than me.
No.
No to the feedback or no to comments?
No, I don't have any comments.
That means he hates it.
It's really
Rick's not
hot.
paying him enough.
It's really hot in Rick's apartment all the time.
Dude, you're like pink right now.
Dude, I'm
Purple.
dying. And he like turned it down. I don't know what's going on. This is light. This sucks. And Rick looks like a ghost. I can see him in the thing, and then I'm
Dude,
like
he looks
bloodshot
so
red. That's not me. I'm not purple usually, bro. This is weird.
I promise.
I mean, I'm just looking at you. You look like that right now. It's not the camera. It's good. I'm
Tell us
laughing.
that's not your normal voice.
Yeah, dude.
Has anybody been working on their music crates? Any of that stuff? I know
I have.
that's probably been one of the bigger discussions I've seen in any of the online forums.
I have seen a lot
I have-
about crates
I have working on that.
lately.
I definitely have been working on my crates and getting them organized and getting some new music and stuff in there. I am like super hyped to play some stuff when we get back.
I think I play the same 60 songs at every gig. And I
Dude,
I
don't
have-
feel bad because
I have that
most
crate.
people do. Most people do. It's like you can
Oh God.
you can plug in a flash drive, and I'm not trying to diminish
Sure,
wedding
sure.
DJs, but if you gave me a flash drive with a Mobile Beat Top 200, I could do any wedding that you want.
Whoa, 200. That's a lot. That's a lot of
Well,
choices.
200, but at the same time, you're going to play what, 100 of those tracks in
Right.
2 hours?
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing when I'm DJing. I do always try to challenge myself to play something outside of the box because, like Eric said, I do play a lot of the same stuff. There's a lot of overlap. And one of the main reasons I do challenge myself is not because I want to, just because I make YouTube videos and then I don't want to get those snarky comments. You play the same shit over and over again. And I'm
That's
just
why
like,
I don't include the music in my
and I'm just like,
videos.
dude, I'm like, you know, it's mostly like late 20s, early 30 brides. Like, there's gonna be a shit ton of overlap. If I pulled up like a list of like my weddings from last year, it would look very similar. Most of these people request the same stuff over
Yep.
again. So, but I do try to think outside of the box. I will say that just for myself and for my YouTube channel, just because I don't want to give the haters something to hate on.
Yeah. I definitely don't pull up my history and just DJ out of that ever. That's never happened. You know.
That's it's hard, man. Especially like picking a like dance floor. I was talking about this with Nick yesterday. It's hard, you know, trying to get outside the box and just try something else. But when it works, man.
I didn't realize I tuned into your live stream for a little bit. I didn't realize Nick had been DJing for so long. He's I guess he started when he was 17. Is that accurate?
He started in 2004. No,
Gotcha.
2007. I don't know. I could.
I mean, I agree that like when it works, and I'm in like the same habit with a lot of the same mixes and stuff too. But I had Nick on the podcast too, and we were talking about it, and I agreed with him. He's like, when he starts to play the same mixes and do the same transitions, that's when it like starts to feel like a job. Like that's when it feels like work to me.
Exactly.
Whereas like if you keep it fun and interesting and open format, and you're constantly trying new stuff, then it's more fun, and it doesn't like feel like work, you know.
No, but you can play the same songs. You can just play them differently. That's what I'm trying to say.
Playing the same songs, yeah.
Yeah.
But like mixes too. I mean, like there's certain transitions that like everyone knows are they just work, you know.
Yeah.
Or you have a particular intro outro thing that works.
Yeah,
wordplay or whatever it is, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Like for example, once you get into like, all right, these songs are awesome together. I love them. You kind of get into a funk. All right, if I'm gonna play that song, then I'm gonna play this song.
Then I play the other one.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like they go hand in hand. But again, there is a lot of overlap with the music. It's just all about trying to incorporate them differently so it's not the same show over and over and over again. And I tell the same story all the time that I went to, like, even the big name DJs, they do like the same sets over and over and over and over again. Because a lot of them, they practice it and it's a routine, and like you'll see them do it at one spot and then you'll see them do it in another city, and it's the exact same thing.
When I was DJing in clubs, it was a little different, you know, because you got majority the same crowd comes the next week. So yeah, you can probably swing a couple of the same mixes for a while, but then people pick up on it if you're just like, you know, playing an identical set every fucking time. So
if you're at a club, when I was at clubs, I would always try to do different sets, just because especially if you're a resident, like the bartenders will start talking shit, and
right.
start talking shit. So you do got to switch it up. But a club is so much different because you can download new music and actually get away with it.
You can get away with it so much more. Yeah, absolutely.
And you know, at weddings you can't do that. It's like if you try to break a new song at a wedding, they're gonna give you the dirtiest looks, you know, and then you're just like, fuck, you're looking like a...
Yeah, and I think I'm reading a comment here. I guess SeriousDiversions.com, other DJs are the only ones who care or complain about always playing the same songs. The guests like it because they haven't heard them every week, which is true. I think we're our worst critics because we do it every weekend, and the guests, you know, they're there to have a good time, and they might, you know, especially a lot of the wedding stuff. You know, the 29 to 30-year-old crowd, they're kind of out of the bar nightclub scene, so they may not be going out every weekend. So a lot of the stuff that we're playing, it's stuff that they don't hear every week like we do as well.
What are you guys seeing as far as like do not plays? Because do you guys get a lot of like Bruno Mars, a lot of like Cardi B, like that sort of stuff? Like the mainstream stuff is usually what goes on your do not plays. What do you guys usually get on your do not plays?
I'm actually getting slides. Slides are becoming like the majority do not play, and all the what they call typical wedding music, like "Don't Stop Believing" and all that stuff, but they'll let me get away with like Bruno Mars, but slides are like dead, and I'm like, thank God, because
Are you
I'm
talking about line
dances?
dances?
Yes.
Okay.
And
Line
I think that might be a regional thing. And just kind of going back to your live stream last night with Nick, he was saying how a lot of the customary stuff is still being, is dead, or you don't see it as much. It's like all the stuff that he says doesn't happen anymore still happens every wedding for us. Line dances aren't dead. It's like they're always must plays. Um, Typically, if it's a do not play, it's they don't want any slow stuff, so they'll type in, don't play anything slow. We want a packed floor all night. But as far as like line dances and formality stuff, I think it's super regional. Just
Yeah.
hearing differences in opinions from guys where y'all are versus me.
Yeah, that's something that I told Nick yesterday. When you get outside of, because here in the tri-state area, it's a completely different animal. But when you do step out of it, like for example, I think we went, was it last year? Me and Rick were at Mobile Bee, and like guys were losing their shit for the DJ Casper, the Cha-Cha Slide dude. Like
Dude, he's sick.
everybody was losing their fucking mind.
Mhm.
So there are still prominent. But again, it's more of a bride thing. Nobody wants to be, oh, I don't want that cheesy wedding. I guess
I
that's what
hate
brides are
that.
trying to avoid.
I hate it because it like ruins it for the rest of your guests. Because
Yeah.
like, okay, bride doesn't like Bruno Mars. It's like, well, guess what? Everyone likes Bruno Mars. So like, grow up and let us play
Dude, and
what
Bruno Mars is
everyone's trying to.
awesome.
Dude, yeah, exactly. And just because you hear it on the radio doesn't mean it sucks. Like, I don't know, it's dance
day
music.
Prince.
Yeah,
Modern day
that's
Prince.
that's the argument that I hate the most. I hate it when they say, "Oh, they always play that at weddings," and I'm like, "Yeah, well, it's because it's good. It's not getting played at every wedding because it sucks.
Right.
It just
Yeah.
wouldn't be the case." So
Like, you're so cool. That's what I feel like when they do say stuff like
what
that.
you know what? Something that has changed more or less last year was I see a lot of country requests now. A lot of people are like, we're into country, we're into country, we're into country, and that was something that I wasn't seeing before, but now I see it more than ever. It's like country, country, country.
All right. Well, my question to that is it country or is it the pop country?
It's
Because there's
definitely
a
the
big
pop country.
difference. There's
It's the pop country.
It's
and
the
that's
pop
because
country.
that's
we
because
play a
that's
lot
top
of
40.
both here. Yeah, we play a lot of both here because obviously we're deeper in the South than I think everybody here. It's country is it's probably 50-50. And there's so many. I think right when I first got started, which is why I started looking into like online booking systems for music, because I showed up to a wedding and a bride, she wanted to hear, country all night, but then I started playing the typical pop country Luke Bryan type stuff, and she's like, "Well, this isn't what we want to hear."
She want to hear some George Strait.
Right, and it's like, well, you got to be a
Oh my
little bit more
God.
specific. So, we play a lot of country here. Most of them, probably 50-50. The playlist is, has at least 25 country songs on it, no, at a minimum.
I want to say like 4 years ago, I was telling people, I'm like, country is morphing with pop music, and it's going to be the new top 40 here in the next couple of years, which is what is currently happening.
I don't disagree. I think the same thing happened with hip hop for a while.
Yeah,
It's
hip
like
hop was the mainstream.
was.
Hip hop is now top 40 in my opinion.
they
Like
are.
you look at the billboards, it's all hip hop.
All hip hop.
And then you got the country pop mixed in there towards the bottom of the top 40 most of the time.
Yep.
And then
I agree.
TikTok tracks are just always at the top.
TikTok. Well, TikTok gets borderline like ratchet ghetto, like
Yeah.
underground shit, and that's
does.
I don't like that, dude. I love mainstream. I don't like the ghetto shit. I don't like it when it's super underground or super like. I'm just like I can't listen to that.
It's not
Thoughts?
danceable music. That's the problem. It's not.
Dude,
it's a lot
yeah,
of
you
it's
can't
slow.
dance.
It's not. It's
The
not.
new hip hop it's sleeper music. It like puts you to sleep. It's like so fucking slow. Like a good time period for hip hop rap music. That song Gas Pedal, like back then when they were all like 98 beats a minute, they were all like club bangers type stuff. You could dance to them all. That was a really good time period.
That was me as a sophomore in high school.
Really?
I don't know when Gas Pedal
Damn.
came out, but like all that
Oh.
music was super popular when I was in high school.
I
That-
just
that
remember
era.
being really
Rack
drunk
City, all
one
that shit.
time, and I'm talking to my buddy, and the song Gas Pedal was really big, and I could not remember the words to the chorus, and I kept asking, I was like, what are the
Speed
words
up,
again? And he's
grab
like,
the wall.
slow down,
Or slow
grab the wall, and I like couldn't get it.
Hey, Barr, have you released your video on the Prime Go yet?
Yeah, everyone's been asking in the comments.
No, I have not. I've shot the video, but I had to shoot it twice just because I wasn't happy with the original cut. So I reshot it again today, but no, it hasn't. I'm curious to hear everybody's opinion on that. Just because I see it being super controversial. Like I know I'm gonna post this thing, and the first thing everybody's gonna say, oh, the price, and then the second thing is like who needs a battery powered controller. So
What is the price on it? I hadn't even
it's
checked.
$1,000. It's $1,000.
$1,000.
But again, it's a standalone unit, so you don't need a computer. Like, what DJs don't understand is that most controllers are dummies. They're essentially it's a MIDI board that
Mhm.
Yeah.
it basically manipulates the software.
Yeah.
With this, it's an actual controller that you can actually play on. Completely without a computer. You don't need to plug in a computer. Which ironically is one of the features that I want on. I want Serato support.
Yeah, I like the computer.
That's
Yeah.
personally, I love the concept that Denon went with for that. Just my personal opinion on it. I love the concept of it. It's a great way forward. I just don't think we're there yet. Standalone units are not there yet in terms of the eyes of most DJs. Like it's very slow adoption.
And standalone units, I mean, like Pioneer CDJ, like 2000, I think even before then, like the 1000, you could, use USB drives and have everything that you need. It's not new technology by
No.
any means, except for the
Mobile.
battery powered option. But at the same time, I don't, as DJs, I don't know who buys a controller without needing power. Like you need speaker power, so why wouldn't you just plug in your controller? I get it. It's dope technology, but at the same time, I'm not sure if it would if it would be like a necessary go out and buy purchase for me.
Yeah.
The
I
only
think-
benefit I see is like for like ceremonies, if you do use a battery powered speaker and a battery powered mixer, I guess you could throw the songs on like a USB and just mix a ceremony without needing anything. But that's the only thing. And I'm more of like a multi tool guy. I'd rather buy one piece of equipment that could do everything for me, my ceremony, whatever, than buy different pieces for everything and fill up a car a lot quicker.
I agree.
I will say though, I do have to. I have to commend Denon for it was a super risky move to put that thing out, just because I don't know. I think we all wanted it, but I don't think we needed it. So it was super risky of them to put it out. So just like all the R&D that had to go into that thing, and just
Development,
it's just it's such a risky, and I'm sure they're like sweating bullets with that thing, because
Mhm.
just the whole thing. It's like, what if they don't make their money back? Which I'm curious to see how this thing is going to perform, especially now with this coronavirus. I'm not sure how many people are buying gear now, and
Right.
it's going to be a tough climb for that unit. But I do like it. I do like it.
Will that replace your CDJs?
No, but it's no comparison, dude. But like it's so awesome because you can stick an SD card in there and you're good to go, and no power, no nothing. It's just you turn it on and it works. It's really cool.
Cool.
Cool. So speaking on buying gear, is anyone buying gear? I actually have been.
I'm looking. I'm always a guy that looks out for a good deal. So you see a lot of people unloading stuff on the Facebook groups, and I browse, but I haven't necessarily found a great deal on anything yet. But it hasn't stopped me from buying. The coronavirus has not stopped me from buying stuff, but I think if this thing goes into August, you're going to see a lot of people unloading gear for cheap, and that it might be a buyer's market come August, September.
Yeah, I mean, we've been doing the same, keeping an eye out on it. We have a local like Long Island DJs group where I mean, I don't know, it's got like 600 members, which is kind of ridiculous to me that there's 600 DJs on Long Island. But
Yo, add me on that.
but besides the point, one guy actually started, and I don't know if it's his idea, but he started a DJ equipment raffle, which I think is smart for both parties involved. So basically, he's listing a piece of equipment and saying, okay, there's 20 spots available at $4 a ticket. So for like a DBX Go rack or whatever, he's getting guaranteed $80. He's got to fill 20 spots, you know, and then so he's getting his equipment paid for, and then basically one of the people who buy a raffle ticket for $4 is getting the chance to win a item at $4, you know, or however many tickets they purchase, entries into the raffle. So I thought that was a pretty cool idea, especially during this time, because I think people are more likely to put a few dollars into a raffle and take a chance on winning something than they are to spend, you know, a couple $100s on equipment.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good
Wait, so-
idea.
I like
Wait,
that.
so how's that work? Everybody chips in $4, and then they'll just draw a number, and essentially you paid $4 for winning, like like a let's say like a light or something.
So basically, like the way he's doing it is like, say he's got an item that he needs to make $100 on to make it worth it for him to sell. He's taking $100 divided by, you know, $4 per ticket, so whatever, you know, and like he's working it out that way so that the numbers make sense for him. And then you could buy as many tickets as you want. If you want to buy 2 tickets at $4, you Venmo him $8, and then your name gets entered into like the hat twice. And I think he's actually just picking names from a hat. I'm not sure exactly how he's doing
That
it.
works great until somebody says, "Oh, it's rigged," you know.
Yeah, no, I agree. He's been going Facebook Live to actually draw the names, which is cool. But I thought it was a cool concept because I've never seen people do that before to sell equipment. So I think it's kind of working in both people's favors. But with that said, I know me and John were talking about too on the podcast. I mean, like, I think we're all kind of being careful with our money because we don't know how long it's going to last. But at the same time, it's like, you know,
A good deal's a good deal.
See a good deal, you take advantage of it. So,
Is there anything you guys wanted to buy before this all happened? Like any big purchases that you guys had in mind for this year?
Yeah, I was actually gonna get some new uplights and stuff. I was telling Rick I was gonna do some new uplighting and stuff like that, and switch out some of my old ones and sell some of the old ones. But I just don't see that anytime soon.
Hey, I got 24 new ones coming from China, so you can bum some off me if you want. Yeah, I've actually been buying gear. There's one thing this whole coronavirus has been doing to me is like I go down to the garage and I like look around. I'm like, oh, it'd be nice if I had that, or if I had these labels, or if I had these like colored bags, and I just go on Amazon, I buy them. I don't know. It's a terrible
Speaking
decision.
of that, I mean, it was a small purchase, but John Simmons, I just watched your video the other day on the cables with using zip ties, color coded zip ties.
Man,
because all my stuff has tape on it, and my Amazon packages just got here today with the zip ties. So
Screw you, mine's still on delay. I literally ordered them too. When I watched the video, I ordered the giant pack on Amazon.
Yeah, man, save time and money, and it's one of those things. I mean, you can see my cable right here. It's got a blue zip tie on it. It's like I know what it is.
Like, are they sharp? Because that's what I found with zip ties. Like when we use them on other stuff, they're like kind of sharp when you cut them.
Yeah, and these are like the plastic zip or the hobby zip ties, so it's much less. It's not as thick.
They're not industrial.
If you use flush cutters, you're good.
Yeah, I think that's a trend and right now happening because my YouTube numbers are all like, pew, like,
oh yeah, mine are...
everything is going down. Ironically, my Amazon is like everybody's ordering. I'm like, what the hell is going on? It's like, look, YouTube is going one way. I mean, YouTube is going this way, and Amazon's going that way. It's crazy. I've been getting so much more from Amazon. I've noticed a lot of people are ordering stuff because people are bored, so they got nothing to do. I guess they're at home ordering shit.
Yeah, that's like me. I'm finding like little projects that I can do if I purchase this, like the cable stuff. I can purchase stuff. I just bought a label maker because I thought, oh, I could label a bunch of stuff and decals.
I was gonna order some more like connectors and just pick up like a raw spool of cable too and just make cables because like I don't have time to do that, but like I could save some money if I just make them myself rather than buying them. You know, It's interesting.
Sure. What do you guys think from a business standpoint? You think a lot of guys are going to go out of business after this because money's going to be tight. You see a lot of guys like, that's end of the road.
I think DJ companies have such low overhead in reality that no. I think that yeah, maybe it'll like affect the business. They may cancel all their advertising, um, but like as for go out of business, it's hard for a DJ company to go out of business unless they rob everyone and ruin their reputation. Because then yeah, but not from like something like this.
I definitely see a lot of local businesses though, other than DJs going out of business. In fact, they're already doing it.
Well, yeah.
That's
Everyone
the
else.
sad one.
I just
Yeah,
meant
everyone else.
DJs specifically. That was what I
DJ
was talking
specifically,
about.
yeah, like
Yeah.
you said, overhead's too low.
I think the aspiring DJs and stuff like that, they probably won't do it. But as far
Good.
as like the big heads and stuff like that, they'll be okay. But anybody that was aspiring to be a DJ in 2020, they could probably go ahead and hang that up now.
Yeah.
Just stick to your day job, which doesn't exist.
I think probably a lot of the guys that may be in between the DJ and production realm, who made big investments to grow in another market. I think some of those guys may be in trouble, but like Eric was saying, and I tell people all the time, I even talked about it on Brandon's podcast. It's like if you're looking to make a lot of money, like technically the profit margin is much better as a DJ company because you can spend $1,500 on a rig and make good money, whereas in order to get some of these bigger corporate events, you're spending $30,000-$40,000, and once you get behind the ball with that, it's easy to get behind, especially when something like this happens. But yeah, low overhead businesses I think will be okay, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think we won't see the long-term effect of it until this time next year. When that's my thoughts.
Yeah, I saw recently. I know someone was posting in the group, and we'll kind of like pass over that question and not answer it. But they were asking about like the loans and if anyone's applied for the loans and different like government programs and stuff. But I just saw in one of the event rental groups that I'm in, they're more like tent vendors and like bouncy houses and like those event rental things where they need a big warehouse and facility and they have a lot of staff and cleaning and all this overhead. And one of them was saying that they only got approved for $15,000 from the government, and they're like that doesn't even pay 1 month's rent for a 15,000 square foot warehouse, whereas
Ooh.
like some DJs would be like, man, the stuff I could do with $15,000, but it is a interesting, like some of those businesses might go out of business because if they're only getting that and they don't have money saved up to pay rent for a few more months, that's going to put them out.
Yeah. Yeah.
The problem I see with those loans and stuff is that I don't think a lot of DJs are legit. I think a lot of them is just
You're
it's
right.
a lot of like, here's my cash. They're definitely not claiming. Uncle Sim ain't seeing that money yet.
I saw a lot of people on Facebook asking, "How do you claim for this loan when you don't have business ID?" Because they're sole proprietors or whatever. They don't have business ID.
Sole proprietor means you're not claiming shit.
You're claiming what you want to claim.
I saw a good question. One of the comments down there. Have you guys ever been late for an event?
Running late or actually late?
Actually late.
Actually late, no.
Ever.
Running late, yes.
Like get there after the event starts, no. But yeah, like Rick said, I mean, getting there a little later than you intended, and then you're like really hustling to.
Like you expected 2
Get
hours, you got
started?
and you got
Yeah.
an hour. Like you
Alright,
ran into
whether
traffic.
whether that's your fault or not. I mean,
Mhm.
we've had cases here, like our venues book like back-to-back doubles where it's an hour room flip. So we get there 2 hours before and we're sitting outside the door with all our equipment because there's another wedding going on. It's crazy.
I mean, that's crazy. But we just don't have that issue here. It's like no venue is being utilized twice in one day. That's nuts.
Wow. Yeah, we have like what we call the wedding factories here on Long Island. And there's a few of them where literally there will be 7 weddings going on at once in 7 different rooms, and they'll do 14 weddings a day because they're doubling up, they're doing an 8 to 1 at night and they're doing one that's like 2 to 6, it's crazy.
Yeah, I've never been late to an event. I've ran late because, like Brandon said, there's like times where they make you flip the room or like you get stuck in like, especially when I've have to go to like Long Island. There's a lot of traffic between Jersey and Long Island, so you do start to run late, which just means you got to hustle. But I always give myself 3 hours, which a lot of people say, oh, that's crazy, but I'm always 3 hours before the start of my event.
And you shoot videos too, so that gives you a little more time to focus on your vlogs and stuff. You know.
But even in general, man, even with 3 hours, sometimes I feel like we're cutting. But we do a lot of. I don't want to say we, but just in general, the productions are pretty big. Like sometimes we bring fireworks and.
I don't think 3 hours is total overkill. We do 2 hours, and our setups
Really?
aren't
'Cause
shit.
I get people well, I guess I get people like commenting like, oh, 3 hours, blah, blah, blah. I show up 30 minutes. My rig is super easy to set up. I'm just like, oh my god.
Well, I mean, like our rigs are nothing. We could set up our rigs in 15 minutes, but we show up 2 hours early because what if, I mean, anything. I could say anything about what could happen wrong, and it's all happened. So.
And I mean, most of the leeway time like that we allocate is mostly goes until like shit. Let me run down to Target or Best Buy or like grab a quick cable or something that just like not working. So those are like some of the quick fixes that we've had to do on the fly. Better question is, have you ever forgotten anything for an event? That's
Dude, all the time. sadly, all the time.
No to that, you're not a human or a DJ.
Yeah.
You haven't been in the business long enough.
So what have you guys done?
That's
like my biggest fear is like forgetting something that
What's
I
the
really
worst thing
need.
you've
What's
forgotten?
You just gotta be smart,
thing?
like for instance, you forget a speaker for a ceremony. Let's just say you forget like a third speaker you can use as a ceremony. All right, well, you gotta hustle extra and use a reception speaker, and then also move it back quick enough before the guests move, and you're not like cutting in people's way. You just gotta make plans, like backup built into your system. Like pull this from there.
Yeah, I'm trying to
think.
think.
I'm gonna let you go.
With us, it's been nice being able to like take a step back because I have DJs call me, they're setting up, it's an hour and a half beforehand, and they were prepping their music and accidentally left their hard drive on their kitchen table. So I've had to bust my ass to get somebody a hard drive. DJs forget headphones all the time. It seems like
power supply for your laptop.
The entire laptop.
Yes.
I think everyone can relate to that one.
Dude, the worst one has been the charger for the laptop, definitely. Which I'm thinking is just like, and I'm always just because the Mac chargers are so expensive, I'm always like, I'm gonna buy one and just keep it in my rig.
That's what I did.
That's what I did.
And I always put it off just because it's for me. I have the new MacBooks. It's like the brick is $80, and then the cable is another like $20.
Right.
So it's so expensive. I'm just like, nah, I'll get to it, and I never did it. That was actually a project I was planning on working on. What's the worst thing you guys have forgotten? Have you guys ever forgotten something that like, oh shit, like I'm fucked?
Yeah, I've forgotten the whole laptop. The whole thing.
What'd you do?
I had to drive 30 minutes back the other way, but thank goodness I was 2 hours early.
Yeah,
I had to drive 30 minutes home, grab it, drive 30 minutes back, and pull it up and pull off the gate.
Like you said, luckily I've never forgotten anything that was like we just were totally
critical.
Screwed and we had to make do without it. Like if it was critical, we were able to like go get it. I mean, we had one where we forgot an extra box of photo booth paper, and my photo booth attendant starts up the photo booth and he goes, yeah, we forgot an extra box of paper. We've got like 10 prints left, but we've been able to send somebody to go pick it up. But the worst thing where I was like, oh shit, like what are we gonna do now was probably our sub poles. We showed up with 4 speakers and no sub poles to mount the speakers up.
I've done
you
that
can put
before.
Him on top. That's not. I forgot the photo booth backdrop. That one was kind of scary.
Ooh.
I was like, fuck, what am I gonna do?
Actually, the worst one I think I had was most recently. I completely forgot my Show Express box. Now, luckily, I was just running 2 Watch FX2s, so I just daisy chained them together and just plugged them in for sound active later. But that was probably the worst. I think I wanted to tailor this into what has been your worst equipment failure at an event.
That's
so
easy for me.
Yeah, I've got mine.
What is it, Barr? Come on.
I've had some guys blow up some subs. Other than that,
Failure by user error. Yeah, I was gonna say, is this a failure like the equipment just malfunctions, or failure by the user error?
Either or. What like
something
in
soft
terms of something that failed that like caused an issue at the event.
I'll go first there. I've blown 2 speakers. I had 4 set up. I blew 2 of them, and the other ones were starting to overheat because it was just incredibly hot. And I never used that brand again. And I won't say what the brand is, but
Harbinger.
it was just no, it was not Harbinger. It was not Harbinger. But no, I've blown 2 speakers and stuff at an event, and the other 2 overheated.
2 speakers? That's negligence on your part, dude.
No, that is not my fault.
2
I'm just
speakers though?
2 of them, but they were terrible speakers. They were horrible speakers.
So
What
did
brand
you?
speakers were there?
I will not say
Alto.
what speakers those were.
So did you forget that the clip light?
J Book uses QSC, so it was a QSC speaker.
Well, no, that's what I use and stuff now.
It was probably Mackie.
I've had QSC
TV.
go out.
It was Mackie. It was Mackie.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
So what you thought was the signal light was the peak light was the signal light, so it was just on constant, and you thought that was the signal light.
I wasn't looking at anything. The people had to come tell me, like, your speaker sounds really funny on this side and that side. Yeah, they both were gone.
We have the K12.2 QSCs, and we got them all at the same time. So we got like 20 of them, except one of them came with a bad amp. So at the very first gig it was used at, they go to turn it on and only one of them works. But he had a 8-inch for the ceremony, so we just swapped and used an 8-inch and a 12-inch.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yeah, all of my stuff has been it's generally I've never had like a complete failure. And anything that has failed on any of my guys is always 9 times out of 10 been an operator error. I've had guys blow subs up because they don't realize they don't have enough rig for the gig, or it's not their stuff. So let's just turn it up, and if somebody wants it louder, oh yeah, we can make it louder, and eventually that costs somebody something. But that's one of those questions I always see on like DJ idea sharing, where they're saying, what are you using? Are you taking backup computers and controllers and speakers? And it's like, I trust my equipment enough to not, I don't generally send backup anything.
Yeah, have you guys seen like where like there'll be the DJ that brings the trailer and they have a full on complete backup rig in the back, and I'm like, really? That's overkill.
I don't know many people that do that, but I do have like safety measures in place.
Yeah.
Like, I always have a monitor just in case a speaker goes out. One of the reasons why I never get rid of my CDJs is because there's an SD card that has like literally like the most overplayed wedding songs that I usually play in that SD card that lives in that CDJ. So if my laptop goes down, or if I lose power, you guys know the Serato usually isn't very good about like just restarting that like as quick. So I can just go into my CDJ. So I have backups in plan, but I don't have a full rig where I like if the whole thing blows up or something, I need to bring out a whole rig. It's just I don't, and I don't know many DJs that do have that. It's just it's not practical. Or
I was gonna say you could there's certain things. I do keep a full copy of my music library on a second external that stays in my backpack with my initial external. So God forbid I can't get that external to load. Like I have backups in place, but again, like you can only go so far with the backups before, like he said, you need a whole trailer or a second truck, or it's just like becomes inconvenient. But the worst failure we go out a lot in like New York and Jersey with TVs and towers with moving heads and stuff. We get to a job, big Sweet 16 with TVs, lights, photo booth, everything. One of my guys is putting the TVs up, plugs them in. We're about 45 minutes before the event starts. Turns on the TVs. One of them's got a spider crack in it, whether that was from transport or mishandling, taking it out. Not sure what it was. And it was kind of minor. I mean, it was like in the bottom corner. We probably could have left it, but everyone would have noticed, and that's like not the quality I like to put out. So I turned to one of my guys. I go, Google the nearest Best Buy. Google's the nearest Best Buy. He's like, it's 10 minutes away. I was like, we got 45 minutes. Here's the card. Go get 2 new TVs. We'll start taking these brackets off. So we unscrewed the brackets. He went, picked up 2 new TVs, brought them back, and we put them up right before. Like we literally, actually the maitre d' held the guests out in the lobby for like an additional 5 minutes to open the doors. But
wow,
Jesus,
that was the worst.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, dude, I the worst thing that's ever happened to me was I had a photo booth go down, and it was actually the software that went down. Just and one of the things that I kind of learned from that situation is just know the ins and out of your equipment, and that was like negligence on my part. I didn't know exactly how photo booths work, so it's a good idea. Something like a photo booth where there's so many parts. You got the computer, the camera, the flash, all those different parts. It's a good idea to get to know it and figure out how it works. Don't just show up and think it just works right out of the box. Because we were trying to troubleshoot it, and I had never troubleshooted the thing because it's always just been plug and play. Didn't work, and sure enough, when it's time to troubleshoot, I'm like, oh shit, I don't know what anything is. And now looking back, it's something that I could have fixed on the fly, but I ended up having to issue a refund.
Yeah, that's what I always say with photo booths too, because photo booths, especially now more than ever, they're so easy to get into. You could buy really cheap photo booths and go put out a photo booth, but that's what I've always said is like photo booths are. That's only on RA. They're very easy to operate. You could teach anyone to press next and share and whatever and print, and how many copies. Like that's very easy. It's the troubleshooting part that's hard. So you could easily tell someone to go stand by a photo booth, but as soon as that paper needs to be changed, then you're screwed, So.
Can you guys hear me?
Technical difficulties there? Low system required.
Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay, cool.
I can hear you.
Does it sound any better?
Yeah, it sounds like your voice.
Yeah.
No way.
Shout out Alex Key then for fixing that issue.
Alex, I love you, bro.
So my sample rate was 44 kilohertz instead of 48.
Nice.
So
that's weird that it was just doing your voice though. I guess because you're set on your mic, your input.
No. It was doing it to his too. He just has a deep voice.
Both of them, yeah.
So, anyways,
Gonna start from the beginning. We'll all introduce ourselves again.
Yeah. Start from the beginning.
No, dude, photo booths though. Photo booths are I mean, they're not terrible. They're a great addition to your business, but they always break. I swear to God, they always break. Yeah. And when you're at the warehouse or wherever wherever you work, they never break. They work perfectly until you're at the gig, and then they break immediately every single time. We have not training manuals, but like troubleshooting manuals that just go over every single thing that could possibly go wrong. And it doesn't even matter. We still get phone calls and we're like on the phone troubleshooting it. And it's always something super simple. And luckily we've gotten a lot better at it after a year or two, but photo booths. I
agree, man. I agree because I'm so paranoid about the photo booth. I feel like I have to turn it on at least one time during the week just to make sure this shit works before I send it out.
Yeah,
I'm so distrustful of the photo booth. It's always something, dude.
What do you use?
What do you mean? What do I use? I mean, I use darkroom booth, and then it's like a makeshift photo booth, but it's just, yeah, man. Even when I work with other companies, like I work for Posh, I always see like they're having issues with their photo booths and stuff like that. It's always something. I don't know what it is about photo booths, man. They're just non-reliable, which is why a lot of people are doing the iPad thing now.
We only use iPad booths.
And you still have issues?
Yeah, of course, absolutely,
what?
Dude.
What are you using, Eric?
With the printing, you're saying, Eric, right?
Yeah, it's always with printing or like
because it's wireless.
Yeah, well, we switched to wired to cut that shit out finally. But it was the wireless printing 90% of the time before. But sometimes a paper jam happens, and the paper jams are weird because we use the D&P RX1, and it's supposed to be a tank that never breaks, and it kind of is. But when something goes wrong, something's wrong,
That's the one thing we do. I usually try and send a backup printer unless we have a lot of photo booths going out. In which case I try and keep just one backup at the warehouse so that God forbid someone has to run it somewhere, they can.
Right.
Because those printers can, and they only last a certain amount of prints, and there's a lot of issues that can happen with that. But same thing, like, because Barr was surprised to hear that with an iPad booth. Like if you're just running like a roamer or an iPad social booth, I've never had anything go wrong with an iPad.
Right.
Screen crack. It's usually the printing when you get that involved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Screen crack. Someone punched the screen or what?
Transport
and cracking it, or like cold weather. Sometimes we had one iPad booth that went out to outdoor winter event, and the cold weather drained the battery, and it drained it.
I can see that.
Its regular point, and it took like 25 minutes to plugged in like to turn on. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah.
You
I
know?
can see somebody punching a roamer, dude. Like, a
Get out of
roamer
my
is a
face.
Get out of my face.
Get out of my face with that! It's like a large ring light you're ringing out to the dance floor.
At Mobile Beat, like I remember that first year they were kind of showing them off at Mobile Beat, and I was like, "What the fuck is that?" You know, like I did not see them being successful, and we could never do it, but it's cool when it can be. It would just not work, you know. So us Southerners are like, "What the hell is that?"
The one question on the photo booths, the 360 cam photo booths. Does anybody use those at events? Because I feel like that's the first thing that's going to get broken when that thing spins around and drunk people.
The 360 one. No, we have the 180 booth, which is like an array of cameras that takes like a slow mo thing. Have you seen that?
Yeah,
An array of cameras.
I've seen that one.
Yeah, so it's like 10 or 15 cameras, right? And it takes like an array of pictures, and it gets like a motion, like a boomerang. But I've never done the 360.
That sounds horrible. Oh, looks like camera 12 is down again.
Yeah, for real.
That sounds awful, dude. Like the more you introduce, the more equipment that you introduce, the chances of something going wrong always occur. So my biggest thing is trying to cut down on the equipment that I'm bringing, just to cut down on like shit going wrong.
Mm-hmm. That's just like in filming videos too. There's a reason why we use a Canon G7X versus a 70D with the microphone and
a lens
and out of focus, in focus is the mic on, batteries out.
Dude. So ironically, it's funny that you say that because I've been trying to up the quality of my YouTube videos.
Your Instagram.
And dude, I've been fucking up so much. Like I've shot videos and like fuck, I forgot to turn on the microphone. I'm like, man, I never had this issue with the G7X. I'm like, fuck, I forgot to set the autofocus. I forgot to lock the focus. Dude, it's so annoying working with an actual DSLR camera if you don't have somebody helping you record. It's just not.
I love the G7Xs. I used to shoot all my videos with just that audio, but I've been shooting all my videos now at the warehouse, and it's so echoey that like the G7X 5 feet away doesn't work. So I have to hook up like an external lav mic or something just so it sounds decent.
Gotcha.
Someone was asking about insurance in the chat. I think it was just like if everyone has insurance, but
yeah,
you better have insurance.
And
better
DJ insurance. I know, like, I'll be honest with you, I'm pretty sure like those $250 policies don't even cover you as a DJ.
Nope. We talked about that in the podcast. It's it gets you a piece of paper to get you in a venue, but
that's the only reason we have it.
Because technically, like with those, at least what I was told, again, and I'm not an insurance expert, but what I was told is that anything over people's head height is not covered by that DJ insurance. And most of us, for good sound quality, are putting our speakers above people's ear level, which is technically not covered. If God forbid that speaker were to fall,
your totems, the mover on top of the totems above height,
exactly, TVs, anything like that.
Another question I saw was transporting gear. So, what's everyone's opinion on what they use? And I know Eric has a completely different than what I do.
I use a roadie.
What?
I was like waiting for it.
No, but
how do we get geared stuff to the venue?
Yeah, it was just like talking about like trailers versus cars versus vans.
Like, I absolutely love a van, but the only van and stuff that I use is from U-Haul and stuff. But I mean, before I was using trailer and truck and stuff before that, but that thing kills your transmission. And so I just had to switch up and go straight U-Haul and stuff. Now it gets everything in one shot.
My problem with the U-Haul vans, and WooPig has it done right, but there's no way to get the gear rolled up into the back of the van on a U-Haul van unless you get a box truck.
Well, you can get a they sell Harbor Freight. Sorry, my camera keeps going out. But they sell Harbor Freight ramps, like aluminum ramps, where you can anything that's on wheels, you can roll up pretty easily. I've had my Harbor Freight ramps probably 5 years, still going strong, no problems out of them.
Now,
they're cheap, like $75.
Now, I saw on the back of your van you got a hydraulic lift up and down,
and it's fucking awesome.
Does that cost you like a lot of time, like getting gear in and out because of the lift going down and up?
I was looking at your video, dude. It does look really slow.
It's slow going down. I mean, I would say it cost the same amount of time versus putting something in a trailer or putting it in a van. Especially, I can. The van was bought specifically for stuff that was because I've got a F-250 and I've got a 16-foot trailer and a 22-foot trailer. So these are big trailers. So the van was bought as a means of something that couldn't go in the truck bed, but was too big for a trailer. So, but at the same time, like I can put so much shit in that van. Like right at the first of the year, I had 100 feet of truss, 6 1-ton motors, motor control, and other stuff. It's just there's so much in there, and it's all there. You don't have to worry about, if you want to leave the venue and get something to eat, you don't have to worry about dropping your truck and trailer or trying to go through a drive-through with the truck and trailer. I love it. It's awesome.
I can see that because that's one of the things I hate about using a trailer is you get to the venue and then it's like you set up everything, you got time to like go eat, and it's like, do I take the trailer off? Do I leave the trailer on? Do I take up 8 parking spots in the fast food joint to go get
and
food?
like especially with us because we've got that we've got a beer photo booth. It's not fitting in most of my guys' vehicles. And not everybody is comfortable with driving a truck and a trailer. So I put it in the van. Say, anybody can drive a van. It's the same size as SUV. So that was another reason why I bought the van. Because if I want, if guys are taking out a bigger rig, I don't feel comfortable with them towing my truck and trailer because backing in a trailer, it took me 3 years of doing it before I got halfway decent at it. So yeah, it's sweet.
I still can't back up. I always consider that as like, does it make more sense to get a box truck or a van? I think a box truck makes more sense.
When
if you can
especially,
afford a box truck,
where
go
we
ahead.
are here too on Long Island, like where you guys are, WooPig and stuff, you probably don't have this, but like, so we have expressways and parkways, and you can't take commercial vehicles on parkways on Long Island. So 3 out of the 4 roads you can't take commercial vans or trucks on, but if it's passenger you can. So that's like something, I mean, my van is commercial because it's a high roof and I just needed more space, but I know a lot of guys on Long Island get a passenger van like with windows and they leave it with passenger plates just for that reason. But I've been more of a van guy over a trailer also just because of the tri-state area. Like we do a lot of work in New York City, and you don't want to navigate a trailer in New York City.
I know Jason. I saw on one of Jason's like podcasts. He talked about how they can't have a commercial van, a commercial box truck on the one highway in his area. It's not allowed legally. They can't have it on the one bypass or the one highway. So that's why he went with a trailer because you can pull a trailer, but you can't have a box truck.
Yeah,
But,
I think box truck is probably the next step for me. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you got to buy what makes sense for you. Because with other vehicles comes higher insurance and stuff like that, and just buy what makes sense.
Yep.
Let's do one more question because I think I gotta get going. In a little
Me too.
Okay. I definitely wanted to just point out though, I got a trailer and I instantly knew how to back it up, which was kind of surprising to me. And my dad mentioned it to me. He's like, you had the tractor at our house, which had a trailer, and you pulled it all the time and backed it up. I was like, he's like, that'll transfer. And I did believe him until I started backing up the trailer like it was nothing. So, yeah, if you're young and you got a tractor and trailer at home, get used to it. But anyways, anybody got a good question other than what's, because I was trying to look at the chat. I didn't really see anything. It was good.
Yeah, I didn't see anything new come in.
No, I didn't either.
Someone just mentioned, laptop specs. I mean, what's your guys' take on the new MacBooks and using converters and hubs, or do you like to stick to the old ones with ports? What's your take on that?
Get the biggest, baddest MacBook Pro that you can afford, and you'll thank me later. Put a bow on it.
Yeah, I've got the new MacBook that stays at the office, but I gig with a pretty specced out 2015 model, like 16 gigs of RAM. That's the only thing I know. 16 gigs of RAM, I think terabyte or 2 internal hard drive. But it does well. I mean, it's a 2015, but it does everything I need it to.
Yeah, I have the 2015 Apple and stuff. I'm converting over and stuff too. So that one in the Windows, the one that I've always been using. Probably time for an upgrade though.
As for a converter for the
I guess it's Thunderbolt or USB-C.
USB-C,
You can just get the cable.
Yeah, I was gonna say they make the cables. And I just bought a new set of cables for everything, and I love the new MacBooks.
You're saying for your hard drive for power,
Dude, that was like the biggest thing everybody was like complaining
controller.
about. Oh, you need a dongle. I'm like,
yes.
I don't need a dongle whatsoever. Like,
Yeah,
just
that's
buy the
sketch-
cable and
that's
you're
sk-
done.
That's sketchy. The dongle crap, it's like, and it's for whatever reason they're like the size of a fucking iPhone on the side of the computer too. It's like why, why
get
not
the
just like
cable.
a smidge? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the only one out of the group I think that uses a Windows.
Ugh.
No, I do too.
I have a
Ugh.
brand new
Let this
Spectra.
guy host this.
I hate it when people text me and it's green. And
That's
I'm
why
like,
your mic sounds
ugh.
weird.
Well, it's
Oh,
different.
I hate that.
But anyways, on this note, I have USB Type C too. I use USB Type C, and again, just buy the cable. That's what I use. But I do have a normal power plug-in, which is
They
nice.
have a couple little converters that work fine though. They're just the miniature ones. They go over the normal USB, I guess
Right, right.
USB B, and that's fine. But I just use the cables.
Rick, do you have a vendetta against like Apple? Because I know like a lot
No.
of, like I could care less about Windows, but like I know a lot of the Windows guys are just like absolutely hate Apple.
No. Oh, and like
it's
a good
poor people thing.
example of
It's a poor
Aaron, come on, man.
this computer is this computer right here is $3
I was
grand.
gonna
Just
say,
put
so
that
the gaming
put that
packages
PCs
every
are way
day,
more.
every day packages, dude. Rick can afford a MacBook.
Yeah, right.
I was about to say I 100%
Said,
can
yeah,
afford.
right.
So here's the thing. One, I hate that with Apple computers you're kind of locked down with what they give you in terms of you can't expand it, the storage, like the pricing to what you get is a lot less with Apple. Like
That's exactly what a poor person would say.
this exact computer in an Apple spec would be $5 grand.
Jesus.
But for me personally, it's just the Windows ecosystem. I've used Windows all my life, and I like having all the features of Windows. But I recommend, so I have Drake. He's just turned 16. He's my assistant. If you guys have seen him in my gig logs, he's wanting to get into DJing, and I told him to buy a MacBook, and he bought a MacBook. So I do recommend MacBooks if you don't have a preference on operating system. I have a preference.
I like Macs. I've just found them to run smoother. I mean, I recently just got the newest one that's like 32 gigs of RAM and 2 terabyte hard drive and stuff. But like Rick said, it's probably similar specs to what he has, and it was like almost $5 grand for a freaking
Right.
laptop.
I think mine actually was only $2,600.
I got a steal on mine. Mine was only
But
$800
it's
bucks,
Windows,
but
Is yours a 15-inch too?
This is the 16-inch. The new
Oh,
one.
you got
Oh,
that one. I want
yeah.
that one. I want that one for editing.
I do have to say, for editing, like that was one thing productivity wise. I'm still getting used to it, but the touch bar and everything is phenomenal. Like you could scroll through your footage while you're editing. If you're editing audio, you could scroll through. Like it's a really cool thing.
I have two the new MacBooks, but mine are the 15-inch. Like I have this
With the
one
touch
here,
bar?
Then I have my DJ one back there. They're both $3 grand.
Yeah.
But it was just the investment I had to make because I was like, I'm all in on YouTube. I'm all in on DJing. So I went.
And I'm a big like I'm a Mac person, so like all my photo booths and everything like are iPads. My personal stuff's like iPhone, iWatch, AirPods. So like I want everything to match because I don't know if you guys have seen the new thing either. Like I just went to connect a Air display, and I saw that I can connect to my iPad that's sitting next to me.
Yeah, you
and
can
I
do
could
the-
create windows like back and forth. You know,
What is
there's
that
some
called?
really
Like a
cool
dock or something?
stuff.
Yeah. Even when I do my sales, I can just whip out my Mac and it connects to my Apple TV. Like no
Right,
cable,
right.
no nothing. It's just awesome.
Exactly. I mean that and like all my photos libraries are synced, so no matter which iPad or Mac or phone I open up, I've got like all my photos from events, which is nice.
It's more or less the ecosystem that you're in. That's really what you're paying for. But I will say though, there is a thing in the DJ world where like all these DJs like seek out 2012 MacBooks, and I wish that they would get over it. Everybody's like, oh, don't get the ones with the USB-C. I wish they
we
would.
do
all-
that. We do
I mean,
that.
I have
You seek out the 2012s?
Well,
but I use those for video because they have
the
HDMI ports.
the reason is because you can get one for $200, and then you can sub all the parts on the inside for another maybe $120, and all of a sudden it has 16 gigs of RAM and a terabyte on the inside SSD, and it's a fucking tank of a computer, and it's only $300. So I do that for all my DJs. You know, it's not my computer, but But yeah, it's a cheap way to have a really dope computer.
Yeah, those are like super sought out. But my thing is just like just get the new, because I know a lot of people like even like Mac users are like, don't get the new ones, don't get the new ones, and I'm just like, get
I
the
love
new ones.
I love my 2019. I don't have the crazy one Brandon has, but I like it.
Cool.
Cool. Is that a wrap, guys?
That's a
I
wrap.
think that's a wrap.
What do you mean?
We need to do this. We need to do everyone. A lot of people are saying we need to do this
Yeah,
more
let's
often.
Do it more often. Well, I was
Yeah.
gonna say. I mean, I don't know if you guys have events next Wednesday, but
If you guys
my
want,
schedule's open.
I like the running joke here.
Yeah, this
If you guys
April's
want,
slow for us.
I'll host on my channel next week if you guys want.
Yeah, let's do it.
That
Bar
works.
will have it next Wednesday, so everyone tune in next Wednesday on DJ Barr channel.
All right. Thank you everybody for the chat, and yeah, thank you everybody.
We
for
stayed
joining
pretty
us.
strong that whole time too. About 120 people the whole time.
Yes.
Yeah, the whole time.
wow.
That's nice.
Joey?
Only 57
Yeah.
likes though, so everyone hit the like button so that way we have 180
You also,
likes.
I mean, you also had about 14 likes before we even started, which was awesome too.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Well, thanks guys for everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you next week on Barr's channel, probably same time.
All right.
Later.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.
Later.
See you soon.
See you.